Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Guided Podcast. Lately, I've been noticing a recurring theme: loss. Many of my clients are experiencing it in various ways. I myself have been experiencing it as well. Some people are grieving the physical loss of loved ones, others are navigating the loss of relationships, careers, their homes, or even familiar versions of themselves. Change, even when we choose it, often brings a sense of mourning for what was. So, if you're feeling this too, please know that you're not alone. Loss is one of the most profound human experiences and one of the most difficult, I think, to endure. That's why it's so important to acknowledge it, to feel it, and to move through it. But where there is loss, there's also something else: new beginnings. And with new beginnings often comes fear, that FEAR, false evidence appearing real kind of fear. Fear feels real, but it's not true. In the uncertainty of what's next, our ego loves to fill in the blanks with fear based stories. So, what does fear actually look like? Let me share a story with you that I think perfectly illustrates this. It was a perfect Saturday afternoon in Arizona, where I used to live. It was sunny, 75 degrees, gentle breeze. My sweet pup Hopi and I set out for a little hike on a new trail. The scenery was absolutely breathtaking, and I felt immense gratitude for this moment. And at one point, Hopi stopped to do her business, and I reached into my backpack for a waist bag. My backpack was heavy, so think full water bottle, sweatshirt, wallet, keys, phone, couple other things. So I took it off, I clipped Hopi's leash to it and set it down, thinking that it would be a secure anchor for her. It didn't even occur to me that this might be a mistake. And as I opened the bag, the crinkling sound startled Hopi. She jumped, causing the backpack to shift, and suddenly she bolted, backpack in tow. What she didn't understand was that the backpack wasn't chasing her, it was attached to her. So she takes off running. I take off running after her, calling her name, pleading with her to stop. But in her panic, she couldn't even hear me. She kept looking back, terrified, running faster and faster, desperately trying to outrun the very thing that she's dragging behind her while barking at it. And after what felt like an eternity, but more realistically was probably about a quarter mile, I couldn't keep up. I couldn't keep sprinting. I was out of breath. I was on the verge of tears. I called out to Spirit. I knew I needed help. I was like, Spirit, please help me. And within moments of that plea, Hopi turned a corner where a rock caught the backpack. And so she was trapped and stopped, but safe. So I was able to rush to her, scoop up her trembling little body into my arms, and I was just immediately overwhelmed with both relief and gratitude. But even then, she was still so afraid. She refused to walk if she could see the backpack. So I had to carry her for as far as I could back to the car. And when I had to set her down, she walked only as long as she stayed ahead of me. The moment she saw the backpack behind me, she froze again. And so then I would have to carry her forward and rinse and repeat. This happened again and again. Now, eventually, she began to settle. Little by little, she was letting go of her fear. And this experience taught me so much. First, I felt the immediate self judgment, right? Here I am, a terrible dog mom. I was reckless, right? Clipping her to this backpack. If I had lost her, I was like, how would I ever have forgiven myself? My mind attacked me with guilt and shame, but I caught myself. I recognized that my mind was using judgment as a distraction from the deeper emotions I needed to process. Fear was real in that moment because there was a genuine threat. And so that's actually the emotion, not so much FEAR, but that's the emotion of afraid. But beyond the moment, lingering in fear The FEAR kind was only going to keep me stuck. So I had to feel everything. I had to feel the guilt for the mistake I made, the helplessness of not being able to stop her, the terror of nearly losing her, and then the immense relief of getting her back. And then I had to forgive myself. And this is what healing looks like. It's not about avoiding pain, it's about feeling it fully without judgment and then learning from it. When we suppress our emotions, they don't disappear. They just manifest in different ways. It looks like self doubt. It looks like self sabotage. It looks like physical symptoms. But when we allow ourselves to feel, we create space for healing and for growth. And so here's where the real lesson comes in. Hopi's fear of the backpack was entirely in her mind. The backpack was never actually chasing her, it was never a threat. But in her perception, it was dangerous. And the more she ran, the more her fear continued to be reinforced. And this is exactly how fear operates in our lives. How often do you run from something that isn't actually chasing you? How often do we allow old wounds, past experiences, and limiting beliefs to dictate the present moment? Fear thrives in the unknown. It convinces us that the familiar, no matter how unhealthy, is safer than stepping into the new. But growth requires us to move through that fear and not be controlled by it. So ask yourself, what fears are keeping you stuck? What old beliefs are weighing you down like a heavy backpack? What would happen if you just stopped running? Healing and change don't have to take a lifetime, but they do require willingness. A willingness to sit with the discomfort, to trust the unknown, to let go of old versions of ourselves. And yes, there is grief in that too. Because even when we release something that no longer serves us, we might still mourn it. That's normal. That's part of the process. But the pain of holding on to the past is always greater than the fear of stepping into the future. Hopi still gives that backpack a healthy dose of side eye when we go hiking, let me tell you, but she no longer lets it hold her back. She keeps moving forward, and I hope you will too. So if you're ready to do this work, to release fear and step fully into your best life, reach out. I'd love to guide you on this journey. Until next time, bye for now.